Hi there, my name is Ron Rogers, and this presentation is about get-rich-quick real estate investment scams. Now, I consider myself relatively long time, more than 2 decades real estate investor, and I'm successful. I've not always made money, but overall, I've come out okay. Now, it takes a lot of work, but you know how to make money quick in real estate? You have a course where you tell people how to make money quick in real estate. But these things just don't work. Now, I know somebody's going to put in the comments, oh, I did it and it worked great. Okay, well, good for you. But for the most part, probably 99%, these things don't work. And one of the first I attended was this NVO Reach NVO Rich out of Phoenix. And they came in. They had the course. It's rah rah. They had big speakers. They had music. Everybody stand up and it's going to be great, wonderful. Jump up and down. I go, you can stand up and shout all you want, the Tony Robbins, stuff. And I know he's probably helped people, but all this rah rah stuff. Yeah, but after a while that fades out. You still got to put in the hard work. And I had this one kid in this one NVO Reach course, presentation. The presentation is free, but then you got to buy all the courses and it adds up. And he's going to go out to Phoenix and he's going to take this course. He's kid sitting next to me. He's 18 years old, no money. He works at McDonald's. His folks are going to lend him the $18,000 to go through this course. And basically they teach you how to rehab property. And I tell the kid, I said, you go to the library, you can get plenty of books on how to do it. Find some people who are doing it and friends and talk to them. Get a group, work together. But you don't need an expensive course like that. Well, he's going to do it. And these people they set up in a local venue. In this case, they came to the Holiday Inn in Crystal Lake. So they drive their Maseratis and they park all three of them right out in front of the Holiday Inn, and they make a big thing about, there's our Maseratis parked in front. See how successful they are? And of course, they they are very successful because they're making all the money off of the schmucks who will pay them all these great fees for learning stuff that you could easily learn. Well, I started kind of looking into this just for fun. And these are rental Maseratis. They didn't drive all the way out from Phoenix to the Chicago area. They rented these from a local dealership. They probably did have Maseratis at home, but they didn't have them in the local area, but it was just to impress everybody about how horrendously successful they were, and you could own a Maserati and drive it around too if you just pay big money and follow our course. So I finally bought on eBay. I bought Carlton Sheets' course. He's one of many people on the no down payment. There's other people who do no money down, so he had to change his title to do his thing. And of course, I think I paid $15 for the course. It had all these crazy ideas that, unless you're a hell of a lot better than I am, they just don't work and they can get you into trouble. And I had a couple of these people that I worked with. They wanted to buy houses. They would make just ridiculous offers. I finally just got tired of it, and I said, hey, I'm not going to work with you anymore. You got to be realistic. You got to have money. You got to have some financial resources yourself, and these schemes just don't work. And then one lady, she finally got somebody to take one of her deals, I guess. And the house had all sorts of problems. She calls me up in a panic. It's got a $3,000 bill for the collapsed sewer. She's going to have to replace the sewer pipe. And what's she going to do? She doesn't have any money. And I said, hey, I warned you. I don't know what to do. But I'll tell you the worst one. The worst one was a client I worked with. And he was a reasonable guy with a decent full-time job, and he's getting into this, and he put in a horrendous amount of work, and he ended up, we bought about I would say about 8 houses together. I helped him buy, but what he was doing was he was doing this no money down thing where he figured out how he could essentially finance the whole thing. He'd take out second mortgages and he'd try to get investors involved to help him. Well, the trouble is your cash flow is so poor because if you don't deal with a negative cash flow, the problem is you're going to have to either subsidize the renters or you're going to have to raise the rent high enough that you don't get a good class of renter. And that's what he did. He was charging essentially above market rents. Well, anybody with good credit does not have to pay above market rents. And so the people he were getting were people who just had terrible finances, and he'd get them in, and they had stopped paying rent. His wife called it dialing for dollars because she would be calling up for the rent, and finally they would have to evict him, and it was just a disaster. He ended up, the whole thing collapsed on him. And one thing that was going on, and boy, if I would have shorted this like some people, I'd have made a lot of money, but he introduced me to the concept of liar loans. And even the mortgage broker was in on this. Liar loans, they're stated income loans. It's like, well, I'm going to buy this house. How much money do I need to tell you I'm making to be able to afford to buy this house? Oh, $300,000. Well, that's what I make. Stated income. They state their income. Yeah, these don't exist anymore. There was no... you didn't need tax forms. You didn't need anything. It was a stated income loan. That's what led up to, partially what led up to the big crash in '08 was all these loans given to people who did not have the financial ability to pay, who were lying about their income, and suddenly started defaulting, and then the whole thing just collapsed. They were going to keep flipping these loans over because the price of the houses were going up, so they could refinance and take the equity out, and now they've got a down payment. Well, it all collapsed, and this poor guy who, he worked diligently on these properties, painting them, redoing the floors, just doing all sorts of work. And he ended up just losing every single one of these through foreclosure. His goal was that he was going to stop working. Well, he's working in retirement now, mowing lawns, just to have an income because he lost what little money he put down, and the whole thing just collapsed. So the only people who get rich on these get-rich real estate investment scams is the people who teach the courses, and don't believe all the rah-rah stuff. It's hard work. It takes financial resources when you have to do a new roof, you have to do a heating system, air conditioning, or you have an unexpected thing like a sewer line collapse. I had that on one house. Didn't realize that was even a problem until I got hit with it. So you got to have the financial resources or your empire will collapse. So anyway, I hope that was informative. Thanks for watching.